Hi everybody, it's Simon here from Barrier Life Inc. And tonight we're joined by Sons of Liberty. We've got Fred and Moose, or Andy as we'll call him this evening.
Well, either's fine.
How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, we're good, sorry, thanks. Yeah, thanks very much for talking to us.
Yeah.
And it's a real privilege tonight, to be honest with you, because obviously you've got your album coming out tomorrow, so I really didn't expect such a prime slot.
It is, you have got you've got the scoop. You've got the real scoop. Yeah.
And it's capped off a great day for us because a lot of the pre-orders of the albums were shipped earlier in the week, and it's gone crazy on Facebook today with everybody that's receiving it. The people that have got it early have been sharing photographs and commenting and stuff. So it has been really, really wonderful today.
Absolutely. I've noticed some of the live bits and pieces coming up on Facebook, because obviously I'm a member of your group, and also Classic Rock dropped today as well, and that's a great review.
It's great. Once it goes out properly, then we'll make the most of that. But it's a great review. Yeah, really pleased with that.
Absolutely, and it really made me laugh when they put in the tagline "Sweet Home Shepton Mallet." I thought
we were wetting ourselves. It was really funny.
This time I wish I'd used that line.
That's going to come back and haunt us. That one.
Definitely. So, as we were saying, the release of the album's tomorrow. How's it actually been going? You must be really excited for tomorrow, anyway. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it seems like it's taken forever, but it seems like it's been over in a flash since the album was recorded back in December. So we've been kind of sat on it for quite a while. It's been getting it, the actual CDs produced and stuff has all taken a bit of time. Shooting the videos, releasing the singles, kind of going in a more kind of structured way this time round than perhaps we did with the previous releases. But yeah, we can kind of see, with the help of Wes and O'Neill PR, how that's really built up over the last, 2 months really. And, it's kind of coming to a crescendo tomorrow, which is pretty amazing.
I mean, the pre-sales have been way more than we expected.
Yeah,
we're really pleased.
Way more than our post office is expected as well. So.
Well, it's good. It's obviously become a bit more than a cottage industry getting this off the ground, has it?
Yeah, I mean, it really has. I mean, we kind of, as sort of a bit like the title suggests, I mean, we were dealing ourselves, from a full deck here this time, and we wanted to make sure that everything was done, as professionally as possible. From the artwork, the layout, the CD production, the songwriting, even the middle of, March last year when we first started writing the songs. It's kind of, we definitely were aiming at something kind of bigger, better, more polished, kind of a bit more structured. And
kind of, when you look at the band's journey already, though, you can see there's been a good step on all the way through, from the release of the EP through to the last album. But you can see this time there's been a considerable shift in terms of production and everything else.
Yeah. I mean, everything before this, you got to go through that, really. We're independent this time, and every stage we've learnt.
Yeah.
The original EP was really going to be a demo.
Yeah.
We did that in a weekend. We did the next one in a long weekend.
Yeah.
It wasn't big budget stuff. But if we hadn't done those and built the fan base and got the music out, and done the touring, then we wouldn't have had the confidence to, as Moose said, put all everything's in. So, and we really found some brilliant people.
Oh yeah.
And the team we got around us, but for the album and the videos and everything, they're real professionals.
Yeah.
So they've got the best out of us, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, when I've had the first EP from yourselves and when I did the review, there was always signs of it going somewhere considerable, if you like. And it's like, it's nice to see that we're at that point in the journey now.
Well, that's really cool of you to say. I mean, it's like Fred said, our first experience in the studio, in a modern studio, because, we'd all been around the block a bit, perhaps back in the 80s and 90s and experienced 2-inch tape, analog recording, that kind of stuff. But probably the Shinola EP was our first experience of modern digital kind of production approach, and we learned one hell of a lot just in those three days that we took to put the 5 songs down. And like you say, we worked a bit with Toby Jepson on the second EP, Age to Smoke, and that opened our eyes a little bit to the kind of song structure and sort of production kind of, not tricks as such, but some things to sort of aim for. And we tried to carry that forward into Animism. Maybe we pulled it off. Maybe it was a step forward again, but it kind of still wasn't quite to the level we were looking for. But Bayek this time round, it's really paid off, hasn't it?
Well, I think obviously as artists yourselves, you'll be your own biggest critics, but how do you feel about this album at the moment? Do you still feel that there's still a little bit, or do you feel that now you've reached that level that's always going to be the mark?
There's always more. Yeah. There's always more. I mean, it seemed like we took a lot longer this time, but we were right up to the wire. We worked with Josiah J. Manning, who produced, engineered, mixed it for us. Yeah. Momentum. But we worked solid for like nearly 2 weeks.
Yeah, 12 days solid.
We were right up to the wire, so we could easily spend more time, and and we could have spent more time in pre-production. Yeah. So there's always more. You can see how some of the bigger bands, will spend a little bit more on it, and they'll just get another. And maybe it's a law of diminishing returns.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is a big bang for our buck, and then you get a bit of polish on top. But everything about it, we're just really pleased with the way it's come out.
Over the moon.
I can imagine so, because I've been playing it for about the last 4 or 5 weeks in the car, and it's become one of those albums that just turns around. You don't need to skip tracks on it. It's just a cracker.
That's great to hear. Thank you for that. That's really cool.
That's good. I mean, we put a lot of thought into the song order, and when we selected the songs to make an album that would work like that.
Yeah.
Trying to think about what we like to listen to, and as you've heard it, and as the viewers and listeners will get to hear it if they haven't. But we're really pleased with the way it flows.
Yeah.
And it skips around, doesn't it? Before you know it, you've kind of I'll put it on again.
Yeah. And Freddie's absolutely right. The work we did for pretty much the whole of last year, in the pre-production, the writing, rehearsing kind of process, and then the song selection. We had 7 or 8 other cool songs that could have made the album. So, and that's the first time we've ever been like that. So for both of the EPs, we recorded everything we had, and for Animism, we recorded everything we had. Whereas this time round, Josiah really drove us remotely, just via emails and chit chat and stuff, into really focusing on the cool bits of the songs and kind of getting those structures sort of pulled together. So the whole journey has been totally amazing. It really has.
I was going to ask about that, because obviously with you being in the studio in December, I did wonder if there was extra material that you sort of either took in or you brought away with you to sort of sit on for a little while.
We honed in on the songs. Probably came. Well, I think there was about 60 riffs and really basic ideas, and we got that. We worked those up together to about 20 songs, and then we made the selection and we finished the 12 songs that are on the album. Yeah. So we'll move on from those now. There's loads more in the tank.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff that we kind of left behind. We didn't take that to the studio at all. Rehearsal room, we ran them maybe up till about October. We were still dabbling with the song selection, and we were still playing a couple of the songs that that didn't make the cut. But as Fred said, kind of going back to those now, it would be kind of easy to do that. We could go back and do an EP or something. It would be actually quite cool, But
always write something that's better than.
But the aim is let's keep that going from where we are.
If that's at all possible.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, guys, that the pressure's on now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, no, that was a difficult second. That's done. That's fine.
It's much better to set off like that, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
The next one's going to be rubbish, isn't it?
We'll have to do a concept album or something. Go like completely left field somehow.
Let's do like Southern Rock plays, like concept or progressive, yeah.
Yeah. That's all a bit dumb, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. I thought
the album kicks off with Ruby Star. How do you put a song like that as your first track out of the hat? Absolutely incredible.
Well, we have Rob to thank for the, Freddie's Riffmeister General, but we have Rob to thank for the thematic content of the songs generally, anyway. And he'd obviously, I think he'd seen Ruby singing in Las Vegas after Black Oak, Arkansas, and after Grey Ghost. I think she was just doing some kind of solo thing, and it clearly stuck with him. And he just brought that to the rehearsal room one day, and we were kind of like, hell yeah, let's go for that. And amazingly, the family members of Ruby and the friends and family Facebook page and stuff, they've all latched onto the song as well. So and
Black Oak, Arkansas guys, so some of them. So I mean, it's because she's incredible. I looked up a lot more. I knew about Ruby Star from Black Oak, Arkansas, but not a lot.
Yeah.
But I think that's what Rob was aiming for, to get people to, but firstly remember, but then go and have a look, go and find out. Yeah. And he's a big Black Oak, Arkansas fan.
Oh yeah.
Rob's lyrics just connect with you, don't they?
They do.
And they seem to.
Yeah.
And when he sang the end section, the screams at the end. I mean, I had a tear in the studio. I was in there with little tears in my eyes, and just go, well, that was all right then. Wasn't it?
It's just occasionally you hear a song like, I had it on in shuffle in the car, so it didn't actually come up as a first track, but it just absolutely hit you between the eyes. It's such a good song.
Thanks, man. That's really cool.
And I mean, like you say, it's kind of it reminds people of the past, but it might also educate the next generation into taking.
Yeah. And Rob's lyrical themes really do that a lot. They connect to stuff from his own past that actually is quite relevant and current today sometimes. And if it's about relationships and things, it's not kind of simple baby stuff. You know what I mean? It's
what you mean.
So I mean, it's always brilliant. Rob bringing the song idea to the table when the music's kind of constructed and then the song comes together is it's quite a rewarding experience. So
suddenly becomes a thing.
Yeah.
Got you. I mean, it's like when you're talking about themes within music and themes within an album, there's humor, there's epic, there's all kinds of stuff on the album, but the humor track sort of struck a chord with me, because it took me back to the days when I used to listen to a lot of Blackfoot.
Yeah.
So you've got like Whiskey Is My Vaccine and your other bits on there. They're just absolutely cracking songs, and the lyrics are so good in them as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly that. I mean, kind of, and we love finding out about those as well. So that's part of the journey for us too in the band. So but yeah, I mean, there's, like you say, there's 2 or 3 quite chucklesome kind of tongue-in-cheek numbers, and I mean, Whiskey Is My Vaccine was great fun. Listening to Rob record that in the studio was very, very funny.
He did actually take the bottle in, and that cork coming out is the bottle. It's him in the vocal booth. It's not added on. But I mean, I think, and the nice thing is we can get away with it.
Yeah.
I think people are laughing with us, not at us. We don't take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
We take the music seriously.
Yeah.
But deadly serious.
Yeah.
And the work ethic we've got is really, really high. But you can have fun with it. And I think, even in the studio with Doc's Remedy, Josiah really sort of almost hammed that up with the effects and
the fairground backgrounds and kind of girls screaming and people being ill and things like that. It's kind of, he was trying to get us to do some of those things, which was really funny. And kind of we were looking at each other initially thinking,
what's going on?
It's like this is all taking it all a bit too far, but genius of producer who can kind of see the end result.
I think if you listen to the finished mix as well, you totally get it then, don't you?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. So we were kind of, ooh. That's a bit too far. It got a bit like Ernie the Fastest Milkman in the West at one point.
And I mean, the other thing was the song selection. I mean, Josiah totally picked "Damaged Reputation" as the first single, and I was kind of like, oh man, that's a bit heavy to go with as the first one, and we had quite a debate over a few drinks, in the evenings as the session was coming to an end, and but by crikey was he right, to put that out as the first single and the impact that's had. The video's obviously done really well too, but yeah, it just goes to show that kind of like extra outside person looking at what you're doing and making that selection for you.
I think you sort of said in the little blog that came through that he was like your extra member of the band at that point in time in terms of what he brought to it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he did everything. We didn't play on it or anything. No, we didn't.
I mean, joking aside, he damn well could have done. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was one of the rehearsal tracks we sent to him in pre-production. It came back all chopped up in a different order with a new guitar solo section, and I was like, where did that come from? It's like, so it's not even us playing the guitar solo. So
on the demo, we're not playing them
on the demo. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's just that extra kind of level of musicianship that the ear brought to everything. Little intonation things on the guitar playing, and he had me stripping strings off with Les Paul and putting heavier strings on. He had Freddie playing an old Telecaster, but I think Chris Barris's Telecaster actually. So,
all right, yeah.
So pushed us into lots of different areas, didn't he? Yeah. And it was damn fun as well.
I was going to ask about the instruments because obviously you'll have swapped it up a little bit and used a few different bits and pieces.
Yeah, quite a lot. There's quite a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Not always obvious, but I mean we're kind of Les Paul guys normally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We use a few different Les Pauls. I don't know how much in depth you want to go. We use a Les Paul double cut.
Yeah.
Use
that for your slide.
I use a Gordon Smith for a slide.
Yeah.
Parkinson Gordon Smith.
Right.
We use the Studio Strat, which is like a bit
so that you put together.
Special Stratocaster on a cleaner one. Chris Barris's Telecaster.
A couple of acoustics as well. There's some acoustic on there too.
Yeah.
Right. How did you find the Telecaster then?
Sorry, what was it?
How did you find the Telecaster compared to?
Well, I went and bought one.
Yeah, it's now got one. So, if you check out the Ruby Star video.
Oh, yeah, I thought that's the one.
And the Damaged video. That's the one you bought.
It's in the Ruby Star
video. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I played Chris's even before we'd even recorded with it. It was just there in the studio.
Yeah.
It's a custom shop.
Bean to buggery. And
I always thought
relics.
They won't be worth the difference. Okay, I get it. I went and bought a second-hand one at a custom shop, and that's great as well.
And then my Les Paul, it's like a custom shop unburst, so it's like so it's almost like plain red, no sunburst in it, but it sounded amazing, and pretty much through all the different amp combinations that we tried out, and but the one thing was the intonation with the 10 strings that I had on it, which normally would play. Just didn't seem to sit right, did it? So set of 11s went on, a little bit of adjustment, and it's just straight in the sweet spot. And that's exactly the kind of thing that Josiah was listening out for. I mean
on the drums, he's changed snares. Whichever song he had selection of some of Steve's snares and some of the studio one, and he tuned the snare each time to the key song.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know you could do. There was such a thing.
And the toms as well, isn't it? So you know, he's on a piano in the studio, ding 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 on the tom, you know, ding 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 ding. So literally properly tuned around the kit. So
and Mark's bass, I mean, they had, you know, you had that going through the bass amp with like 5 different microphones around the place, and a DI and a and he had a guitar combo, a Cornford, Harlequin, I think, little Cornford combo to get the gain, or one of the gains.
So all the top end of the gritty bass sound is actually coming from a guitar combo that is really for, you know, just for recording bluesy guitar stuff, really. But yeah, by God, did it sound good, you know. So a couple of cool pedals he had as well. So, you know, Dark Glass, I think it was, like drive pedals and stuff. So yeah, so you know, lots of oral push, you know. So he's moving us out of our comfort zone all the time. It's kind of even chord shapes and things, you know, stuff that we've really worked on to make sure we're not playing the same stuff. You know, Josiah's then saying, "Oh, play the inversion of that and play it here," and this kind of things we wouldn't have even thought of. You know,
so you're rapidly trying to learn a new shape, get your hands around a new shape, you know, and then the tapes rolling.
Yeah, it's like the red light's on. It's like, hold on a minute, I've not quite got that one yet. So,
tune in.
But yeah, there we go.
It's a thing to still be challenged as a musician, though, isn't it? I guess you'll have learnt a whole lot from it.
Oh man,
yeah. I mean, what I learned was I know that much. I thought I knew that much, but I only know that much.
That's what keeps it interesting, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, like you talked about Damaged Reputation as being sort of one of those tracks that really stands out. I think, you know, the likes of like Texas Hill Country, because of the riff on that, are just so addictive. It's got like a rolling, really packs a punch.
Totally down to Freddie on the guitar front.
Oh, you read the lyrics for that.
So yeah.
Both the main songwriters here.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of, I don't know, I pick up the guitar when I get an idea and I just stick the phone there and video it.
Yeah.
And that one just popped out. Both the riffs for that just sort of fell out. The guitar. And that's kind of always right like that. And I might not get anything for 2 weeks, and then I'll have one evening where 4 or 5 things pop out, and then little phases.
And that song actually took quite a while to pull together. It was probably one of the ones that was close to not making the cut. And yeah, I mean, I'd made a trip to Texas, and we'd been to Luckenbach, and myself and Janie had sat under the tree, and it's this crazy little community where there's only like 3 people that live there, but it's got its own postcode. So so I sort of came up with the idea, the story for that, and some of the tune to go with it, and then Rob's even taken that, so some of my rubbish lyrics were kicked out, and some better ones were slotted in for probably about a third of the song, So yeah, all collaborative sort of stuff, but it normally just takes something to sort of click with us when we get together.
You just get the idea. I mean, I think the riff is kind of fairly classic country rock. I certainly have most of the riff is. And then it just sounded like that kind. It sounded like Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a bit like Black Blizzard. You probably took some inspiration from your trips for that as well, did you?
Well, that was Rob's history, about the dust storms, basically, that wiped out, Middle America's kind of farming communities. It's in 19.
Yeah, it's back in the 20s, wasn't it? I think. Yeah. So it's sort of just around the sort of Depression era and stuff, and but yeah, another brilliant story, from Rob lyrically, and and that's probably the song that changed the most from our rehearsal sessions and our kind of pre-production to the actual finished version in the studio. So even before like the last rehearsal to the starting to record it in the studio, again, Josiah had quite a different vision on how that song was going to come together, and it's not quite as trippy perhaps as it was originally. And
okay,
it's one of my personal favourites on the album. So yeah,
it was more trippy. It was a bit more. I'm trying to think of who it would be like.
Yeah,
it was definitely a bit more jammy and a bit more.
Yeah, kind of. It definitely had a sort of open, loose kind of. It could have gone on for 20 minutes kind of feel to it, but it didn't. You know, we kept it to a sort of 5-minute length. But
yeah, I mean, I put it in that kind of, like the epic track, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it could have easily been a 9-minute song, but again, we kind of structured ourselves a little bit this time around, and same with I Come in Peace. I mean, that could have easily been a 7.5 minute song, and and maybe one day live it might be, but but yeah, I mean, certainly, the journey of the songs, for me at the moment is still quite surprising. I put the album on, I play the album at home. It's kind of like, wow, how did we get to that place? It's actually quite cool,
Isn't it just very satisfying, I would imagine?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny, you get so close to it, and then, it's obviously with rehearsing the songs, writing them, working them up. It's not always easy.
Yeah.
You've got an idea for something, and you're trying to convey that in the language. It's really hard to get across, isn't it, with music?
Yeah.
So we slog through it sometimes, and but to get the result is fantastic. But you've kind of heard it so much, you have to step back from it.
Yeah.
And obviously we're rehearsing the songs as well, so we're rehearsing them for live.
Yeah.
But so I try not to listen to it in between, because then I can enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Because we've heard them thousands of times.
Yeah.
But it's still lovely, and they pop up on the radio or something.
Yeah.
That's great.
But rehearsing for live is a very good point. So of course, post December, we come home with we get the first mixes through from Josiah, and we're kind of thinking, how are we going to do that? So there's, because there is stuff that I'd never played before until going in the studio. Freddie the same. We swapped some parts around that kind of I was doing the chunky, heavier bit, but you ended up doing that on the recording.
Yeah, and kind of. It was again. If we had more time, we probably would have played the parts we intended to.
Yeah.
But it was kind of just the order we did them in.
Yeah.
And sometimes we wouldn't. Instead of doubling something up.
Yeah.
We always try and do something different on the two guitars.
Yeah.
They're not that. Just they sound quite. Our sounds are quite similar.
Mm-hmm.
I think our playing style's a bit different, and we do tend to play things naturally in a different way.
Yeah.
But we really kind of pull them apart a lot more in the studio and play. There's parts where we're hardly playing anything.
Yeah.
Because you've got so much going on with the rhythm stuff and the bass and the drums, and then if Moose's guitar is filling it out. So whereas when we've been practicing them, we're probably both playing much more similar.
Yeah.
Parts.
Yeah. I mean, Ruby Star is a great example of that. I mean, the riff from Ruby is kind of we were both playing the main riff for most of the song. Whereas actually now,
I'm not playing it.
You're just kind of like chunking on
I'm really annoyed about that. I wrote the bloody thing.
And I'd have been quite happy doing that bit,
But you'd already done it.
It would have been quite good, especially live, because you could really make something of that live with you can get some fist pumping going.
No, that's fine. I'm having that.
So it's kind of like.
And I get to do the feedback bit.
Oh yeah, that's true as well. Yeah.
But on that, I'm just I play at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then. It takes over, and I'm just, as in the video.
Lots
a bit of feedback.
Lots of downstrokes and feedback. Yeah, it's all gone Metallica.
I suppose the next big challenge is going to be the translation to what you do live with it as well, isn't it? When you actually get
that's what we've been doing, and we have, we've been working them up. We haven't stopped. We had a couple of gigs already. In May, which were limited capacity, people sat down shows this year. So we had to learn quite a few of them. And we've got our album launch show in Swindon on the 25th, next Friday.
Next Friday, yeah. So,
and that's going to be, that's limited capacity again, obviously. Well, it would have been anyway.
Yeah. And about six songs from the new seven, maybe from the new album. We've made it into the set. The 2 gigs we've done so far, and we kind of realised actually we were about 5 minutes short on our time target. So
right.
So that's the other problem.
So Dead Man's Hand is coming out for the next batch of sets, which is quite cool too. So
so it's hard to put sets together now.
Yeah,
because we've got quite a back catalogue, and obviously, you get to, we've all done it. You go and see a band that's got a new album out, and all they play is the new ones, and you go, oh, well, what are they here? Seriously. Yeah. And I've got some sympathy with them now. What do you do? So
the trouble is, though, it's that kind of, where do you put your priority with your back catalogue or what you've just put out? Because it's a fine line, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can never win. I mean, I've been to see gigs. I remember going to see Def Leppard when they brought the X album out. I think it was.
Yeah.
And they played one track, and the first song was a new song, and I thought, oh, great. And then the rest was just, was the same as the last tour I'd seen them almost. A few changes, but it's like, okay, we just put some effort into these new 12 songs. Just want to play the damn things,
Absolutely.
But it's a massive juggle, and I mean, Freddie does a lot of the kind of legwork on that, trying out ideas on paper and seeing how they might work, and
we put we put as much care into the sets as we do into the song order and the song selection.
Yeah,
we try to, and then we refine them.
That
doesn't always work.
No, it doesn't always work.
We need to move that one away from that one. We have kind of worked them all up now, we know
we can play them in the set.
Them all in the set. We'll play them all at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got your album launch show, but beyond that, there's quite a lot of gigs booked in for later in the year if everybody plays by the rules.
Yeah. I mean, we were really looking forward to July because we had the kind of end of June Swindon, and then we had a good old run of like 4 or 5 gigs in July, which would have been really cool. But all of those have fallen by the wayside with the latest announcement from Boris and Co. And so I think Wigan later in July is still okay.
Yeah.
But the 4 before that will all be rescheduled for later in the year now, which is a bit unfortunate. So a couple of those would have been really cool as well. The band club down at St Austell. We've gone really well down there 2 previous times. So I was really looking forward to taking the new album down there for the guys that came out and supported us. And
got a new date for that.
Well, we have, so and it just be moved to later in the year, but it's just a bit of a shame that it's kind of like not now, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, hopefully I'm going to get the opportunity to catch up with you guys when you come and play in Blackpool.
Okay. Yeah. Rockforce.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're headlining the Sunday, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right. So again, that seems to have been in the diary for forever, doesn't it? So
it was meant to be last year.
Last year, yeah. So
or earlier this year. I can't remember. It might have been. Yeah, they moved so many times.
But yeah, certainly, later in the year we've got some really cool festivals. But we've got both Hard Rock Hells, so we're on the Crow's Bill and the main Hard Rock Hell. We've got Rock in the Bowl in Sheffield. Yeah, so that's going to be really great.
Good. Yeah.
And loads of others as well. So the diary still looks pretty healthy for 2021, and and the way things have gone, there's actually quite a lot of stuff in the diary for 22 now as well. So
I think everybody's started to book out already, haven't they? So that's all of that.
Not the festivals. We've already got here March, which we can't talk about yet. We've got quite a few nice festivals for next year already. So we've got quite a big run kind of September,
October, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Kind of.
Solid.
So originally it was kind of July and then a few, and then sort of September and then a few, and it's kind of it's it's just an ever-changing kind of target, you know. So I think Rob said at one point about getting some T-shirts made up with the tour dates on the back, and I was like, you know, it wasn't even worth printing a flyer, let alone getting T-shirts. It was kind of, it's just all changing.
That's to come with stickers, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You're so on Spain stickers.
Yeah, you could do it with a list of patches, couldn't you?
Yeah. Sort of Velcro, Velcro dates to stick on the back, so you can move them around to somewhere new, you know. So, but yeah, hopefully it'll all come back together at some point, and the venues that have worked hard to keep going. I mean, Waterloo and Blackpool,
amazing.
You know, he spent a whole load of money.
They all are.
And you know.
Yeah, I was down at the Waterloo just over a week ago, and I popped in to see Ian and the guys there, and they've done a magnificent job of the place, considering they've had literally no funding.
No money, yeah.
They've done a tremendous job, so it really is a pat on the back for those guys. Because, you know, in the Northwest especially, it's probably the same down at your end, the shining lights of these venues are really the heart and soul of the music industry, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I mean, you know, we've got relationships with a load of similar places, but and you can see how much effort they're all putting in, you know, the venue owners, and then you've got your promoters and your agents and you know, your booking people, and they're tearing their hair out as well. So, you know, thank you from us to those guys for hanging in there and keeping it kind of looking as though it's actually going to be good at some point, you know.
Well, I did actually notice that Wes has been allowed out of his box as well, so he started getting out and about again, hasn't he?
He went to Love Rocks, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he came down to our Western-super-Mare gig as well, and then had a real good time. And actually, it's really funny, the difference having somebody kind of with that PR sort of vision thing actually attending the gig is amazing. You know, just simple stuff like getting a photograph at the end of the set, and you know, kind of a little bit of work in the room, saying hello to a few people, having somebody else doing that has been bloody marvelous. You know, so so you know, hopefully there'll be more of that to come later in the year as well.
I'll look forward to it. To it. No, well, thank you very much for your time this evening, gentlemen. I'm going to let you go now, because obviously you've probably got more lined up before the end of the night, and then day tomorrow.
I'm going straight to bed now. Get ready for tomorrow.
Excellent. Thank you very much then, guys. All the very best, and we'll catch up at Blackpool if we don't catch up before then.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, that'd be great. We can have a beer. That'd be tremendous.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Sergeant.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.